So it's finally happening. After months of speculation and rumours, we're finally staring down the absolute Joker. And look, I don't say this lightly, but for me, this might be the biggest gamble that DC has done since they launched this entire new absolute universe. And if they get Joker wrong, honestly, the whole thing could wobble. And today I want to explain why that is. I'm Phil from DC Chronicle. Welcome back. And if you're new here, this is where we talk all things DC in a way that's honest and conversational, and hopefully makes you feel like you're chatting with a friend. So if that's your thing, hit like and subscribe. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, and let's talk Joker. So first of all, the hype around this Joker is insane. I mean, the moment we saw the first images on Twitter, I don't know about your timeline, my timeline went into meltdown. So many retweets and quote tweets from different artists and writers and fans, everyone just really dissecting these new images of absolute Joker. I honestly feel like DC hasn't had, at least in comics, this kind of organic excitement around a villain introduction in years. The whole absolute universe, especially Absolute Batman, is the biggest thing DC has done in a long, long time. And with Absolute Joker, there's this feeling that something really big is coming, and that does come with extra pressure. And I do think a big part of this is because it's Scott Snyder and it's Jock stepping back into Gotham together. That's a huge deal, at least for me, and hopefully for the comic fans as well. I know on my hit list, one day on these walls, there'll be Detective Comics 880, Adventures of Superman 14, Batman Who Laughs. Their Batman run defined an entire era, so the fact that this is their Joker, that's something, right? That's not nothing. It's a creative team that people trust and people expect like brilliance from, and that means they're going to be held to a very, very high standard when it comes to absolute Joker. And now we've all seen the images, right? This Joker, aesthetically, absolute Joker, he just feels immediately visceral and immediately off. Not in the usual kind of, oh, he's Joker, he looks creepy way. He's just like absolutely primal and like a mythic beast almost. His frame, the stretched smile that he's got, the way that shadows are used in some of these images, it does feel like this is just a thing that Gotham produced rather than Joker being a man or anything like that. Something that just kind of crawled out of the city, and that's so fascinating, it's so cool. It's also so dangerous as well, because let's be honest, like Joker saturation is real. There's been so many different flavors of Joker, so many different tones. The risk is now that people won't care. The risk is that people will go, oh, it's another Joker. DC is playing with dynamite here. The hype is so real, but the margin for error is really, really tiny. And the stakes get even higher when you realize that this Joker, in this absolute universe, he's a thematic mirror to the absolute Batman more than just being like a regular villain. Absolute Batman, right? He's the embodiment of competence, precision, and order. You know, his engineering background, the way he's built everything up from nothing in this universe. And then Joker has to do the opposite, right? It's broke Batman versus billionaire Joker. He becomes like an emotional core of this universe. And if that doesn't land, then it makes the entire absolute brand feel a little bit weaker than before we came in. And again, I talked about the three Jokers that had all the talent in the world behind it, but it struggled under the weight of explaining too much. And it's like the more we kind of poke at Joker, the less interesting he becomes. And again, yeah, I'm talking about films again, but DC have shown time and again they don't always know how to get Joker right. If you look at like Jared Leto, for example, the initial reaction was mixed at best, and that's where Joker introductions become so important. And look, if you're a fan of the channel, if you've watched my other videos, you'll know that I made an entire video about why DC needed a break from the Joker. Not because he's a bad character, he's one of the best characters of all time, but he's overhyped, or he was getting overhyped, oversaturated in DC for the last few years now. And for me, that overexposure killed the mystery in the character, which is what makes him so cool. Joker works when he's just like a rare phenomenon and when he's used sparingly. So DC bringing him back right now is a bit of a risk, and it's something that they have to justify in the storytelling of Absolute Batman. And as I touched on before, the core problem for me is simple. It's that modern writers, they want to explain Joker too much. They want to not just explain even, but humanize him, empathize with him, build a motivation for why he's Joker. But the Joker is not a character who benefits from clarity. The moment you explain why he does what he does, then he just becomes less unpredictable. He becomes just another villain with a kind of tragic backstory and more of a motive that people can understand. And Joker is at his best when he is just a force of nature, less like a man and more just like a storm. You don't explain the motives behind a lightning strike. Lightning strikes should happen. There's a randomness to it, and it's terrifying. And Joker is the chaos that Gotham produces when the city itself has just had enough. And if Absolute Joker isn't that, then he might end up being reduced to just another guy. And being honest, like, how many Joker backstory, origins, motivations have genuinely added anything? How many times have you read a comic or walked away from something thinking, wow, I'm really glad that they explained that? And I feel like that's the crux of it. Like, with Joker, you don't want answers, you want questions. And if DC does forget that, then this Joker just doesn't stand a chance. So for me, the one thing they must do is have the Joker be a concept. My big take is that the only way this Joker works is if he's really not a person at all, if they lean into him being this supernatural, mythic embodiment of Gotham's kind of sickness, the city's sins turned into flesh form, and a force that isn't born, but a force that just emerges. That's the ideas that make Joker terrifying again for me. And this absolutely lines up perfectly with what the Absolute Universe is doing. I mean, there's been a couple of missteps, but so far overall, it's been great, especially Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman is one of the best things I've read in a long time. I like how it's heightened, it's mythic, these aren't grounded, gritty versions of these characters, they're archetypes. Absolute Batman is almost superhuman just in terms of his competence and how he's able to get stuff done. So his Joker needs to be something bigger too, something that's not bound by logic or backstory, something that pushes this universe into a whole new territory. And if you've read any of Snyder's previous Batman work, this really tracks. So I feel like Scott Snyder loves his kind of high concept villains like Court of Owls, Batman Who Laugh, how they're more ideological than just kind of being bad guys. Gotham feels so alive in Absolute Batman, and the monsters it's created are incredible. So honestly, like, Joker as this conceptual entity isn't even that far-fetched. It's something that is very imaginable when you think about this universe and you think about who's writing this universe as well. And the other benefit when I think about it is that Absolute Batman, he's almost like too good, like he's too smart and he's too prepared. A normal human Joker wouldn't stand a chance against that. But this Joker who doesn't follow rules to the point that he doesn't even obey like physics or like identity or motive or a normal morality, like that Joker can challenge Absolute Batman, and that Joker can even break Absolute Batman, and that Joker can redefine this whole series. So my thesis is that if DC wants this Joker to matter, they have to stop treating Joker like he's a man, so he can't have a real name, he can't have a backstory, he can't have a motivation. He just has to be the idea of chaos. That's what they have to do with this. Anything else, I feel like, is just going to be stuff that we've seen before. So for a counter argument, is this what I think they're actually doing? I don't know. I mean, maybe, maybe not. We've had the images, we've had a couple of quotes about this Joker, nothing that really gives us a concrete idea yet, of course. I mean, this is bold, what I'm suggesting. This is risky. It's definitely not the safe route, if you like, that way. DC might look at the kind of supernatural, mythic stuff and decide it's too much for a mainline Batman book, especially a new universe book, which even this Absolute Universe and the craziness of it, they might decide that is too much. And I get that, right? If they go too far supernatural with Joker, like, some fans won't like it. Joker becoming a demonic concept or like this metaphysical entity could feel like a jump in the shark moment if it's not executed absolutely perfectly. With this series and with Joker, the tone matters, the consistency matters, and you know, we've seen comics stumble on big ideas before. Even in the Absolute series, I mean, Absolute Bane is incredible. He's one of the best villains I've read in a long time. But before that, we had Absolute Mr. Freeze, who didn't really land for me. I wasn't too impressed with the Mr. Freeze parts of Absolute Batman, and I get the sense just from looking online that there's other people that feel the same way as well. So if they do want to stick to the safer path, if he is a man, they must keep him unknowable. Again, no real name, no origin, no flashbacks, nothing sympathetic. Make him kind of a mask or a void of Gotham or of Batman. A question that is not solvable. The Joker works best when he's unsolvable, when even Batman can't figure out why he does what he does. because the moment that you reveal Joker's motives, you trap him and you limit him and you make him predictable. And predictable Joker is just kind of this weirdly boring guy, and it becomes pantomime. We've seen so many failed attempts to give him meaning, and every time it just chips away at the mystique that made Joker so iconic in the first place. So for me, it really comes down to whether he's a concept, whether he's a man. Either way, DC can't play it safe. They can't water him down or explain him to death. They need to commit fully to making Joker terrifying again, which is that, for me, Absolute Joker, more than just a new villain introduction, it's a statement from DC, planting their flag in the ground and saying, this is who we are now. They've made some amazing strides with this Absolute universe. Again, it's one of the most popular things we've had in comics for a long time. Even Absolute Joker, the hype. I know I've got my copy pre-ordered, I bet all you have as well. But the only way this works is if they resist the temptation to over-explain him. Joker must be a mystery, he must be a myth. Anything less, and I sort of feel like they've already failed. But that's just my take. I want to know what you think. What's your secret for keeping Joker fresh in Absolute Batman in 2025, 2026 DC? Let me know in the comments. You know, I read all the comments, I respond to all the comments. Again, I'm Phil from DC Chronicle. If you've enjoyed this Joker deep dive, hit like, subscribe, and stick around for more DC deep dive conversations and friendly chatter. Thanks for watching.